I built my own messaging app, but it is not for talking to people. It is for talking to my AI agents. This is ClawChat. And the easiest way to explain it is I wanted something like WhatsApp, but for digital workers. Because once AI stops being a one-off chatbot and starts acting more like a worker, normal chat apps start to feel wrong very quickly. Telegram, Discord, Slack, WhatsApp, they are built around human conversation. But I was dealing with something different. I had one worker doing a task, another checking the work, another trying to manage the process, long outputs, handoffs, documentation, reports, and messages that needed to happen later. At that point, I did not need another chat window. I needed a workplace. The problem became obvious when I was working with Gapminer. I had Gapminer doing the work and Gapminer Auditor checking the work. So one would produce something, the other would review it, and I was stuck in the middle copying messages backwards and forwards. That sounds fine for about 5 minutes. Then you realize you are not really doing the work anymore. You are just moving messages around. I had accidentally become the human switchboard for my own AI team, so I created Gapminer Orchestrator to manage the process. That helped, but it created a different problem. The orchestrator could tell me it was coordinating the others, but I could not actually see the team working together. I did not want to just trust a black box. I wanted to see the conversation. I wanted to see the handoffs. And I wanted to be able to step in when needed. That is where ClawChat started to make sense. The main idea is simple. Digital workers should be able to work together in a shared thread. So in ClawChat, I can have direct chats with individual workers, but I can also have team chats where multiple people or multiple AI workers are in the same working room. Each one has its own identity. Messages can be visually different. Mentions make it easier to address the right person or worker directly. And instead of me carrying messages between separate chats, I can see the team conversation in one place. That is the big difference. A chatbot conversation is usually one human talking to one AI. A working team is different. One worker creates something, another reviews it, a manager assigns the next step, and I need to see that happen without becoming the messenger. I also realized a team chat should not just be one endless thread forever. Real teams have meetings, summaries, follow-ups, and resets. So ClawChat has meeting cycles. A meeting can be wrapped up. Previous meetings can be reviewed. Reports can be generated from the thread. I am not trying to create a giant scroll where important decisions disappear. The point is to make the work visible, reviewable, and manageable. And ClawChat is only the interface. The workers are connected through OpenClaw, which is running on another computer. So if my laptop is closed or the browser is closed, the work can still continue. ClawChat is the control surface. It is how I interact with the workforce. The agents page is where this starts to feel less like a contact list and more like staff management. I can give each worker a name, a role, a department, a team, and an avatar. But that is not the important part. The important part is the context. Each worker can have markdown files that define what it is, how it should behave, what tools it should use, what workflow it should follow, and what kind of work it is responsible for. Files like agents, identity, soul, tools, user, and workflow are not random notes. They are operating context. This is the lesson I keep coming back to. AI workers do not just need prompts. They need roles, memory, workflows, operating manuals, and shared expectations. If I want a worker to operate inside Gapminer, RankScope, Page Journey, or Mission Control, then the workflow documentation for that application needs to live somewhere the worker can actually use it. That is what the shared library is for. It holds workflow folders, application documentation, manager references, worker instructions, and reusable baseline files. So a new worker does not have to start from generic placeholder instructions. I can give it the foundation it needs, then the specific context for the job. That is also why ClawChat has scheduled tasks. From tasks and approvals, I can schedule a message to appear later in a direct chat or a team chat. It could be one-off, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, or on weekends. The point is simple. I can wake up a worker or a team and tell them what to do without sitting there manually sending the message. And finally, groups gives the whole thing structure. Organizations, departments, and teams make this feel less like a random list of bots and more like a small company made of digital workers. So ClawChat started as a way to talk to my AI agents, but really it became the control layer for managing an AI workforce. Conversations, teams, meetings, reports, scheduled tasks, markdown context, shared libraries, and business structure all in one place. That is why I built it. Normal chat apps are built for humans. ClawChat is built for digital workers.